Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is a Q&A to answer a question that I received over DM regarding how to communicate with your spirit guides. Okay, so if you're new here, my name is Yasmin. I'm a psychic medium known as Door to Value on all social media platforms, an educator with School of the Ascending right here on Instagram. School of the Ascending is basically, you can consider it like a mystery school, a spiritual school, an educational school that essentially aims to help you elevate, evolve, and empower into the greatest version of yourself. Our core principles discuss evolving your wounds into wisdom so that you feel empowered through your healing and elevate into freedom. And so in this video, I'm going to answer this question about spirit guides a little bit more in depth. There is an infographic, a couple other videos where I have talked on a live, as well as a written kind of picture graph that you can save as well. It is a post if you scroll down on the page where I talk about the communication with the spirit guides and what it means to have spirit guides. I mean, what does that mean? Because I know that we all, on this journey may have different experiences, different beliefs perhaps around our upbringing with, faith and spirituality. And so the purpose of spirit guides may seem different or irrelevant to some. But because this question came through, I am of course guided to respond in a video. I'm quite not sure if I've responded previously in an individual video to this question or not, but nonetheless, I will help answer again. So if it does resonate, please save this video and let me know what you thought, if anything that I mentioned here does resonate. So when it comes to spirit guides, we have to remember first and foremost that every single soul, this is like the basic level 1 information here, every single being that is alive, even animals, even plants, has sort of a protection of beings surrounding it. This is just how it goes. It's kind of like you've got protection on the other side for every living thing, okay? I need to preface, because I'm being shown the imagery and we're channeling here in this response at the same time of animals, cats, dogs, plants. So anything that has a life essentially has a spirit team around it. Now, the kind of depth to that spirit team might vary depending on the nature of that individual life's mission and what it's meant to experience. But we'll talk about humans here because that's, I think, a little bit more relevant to each and every one of us. So every single soul that is alive has a spirit team around it. Now, the spirit team can consist of family members who have passed away, okay, your loved ones who have passed away. It could be loved ones you knew, loved ones you didn't know, or it could also be people that actually weren't even in your family tree, that weren't in your generational lineage. So that's something to consider. A lot of people that I've sort of channeled for and have done readings for, their guides have come through as people that are not actually in their family, but they're people that have passed on from other families, and that can happen. Now, I'm not quite sure why that is. Maybe that specific being or person, someone who used to be on the earth, signed up or was assigned to be with this individual. More than likely, it's not like any random person can just sign up. Like someone who could be, for example, this is just a metaphor to explain the nature of this, because it could sound almost creepy a little bit, but someone who could have been a stalker or an abuser of someone else who died cannot sign up to be a spirit guide for someone else and be willingly assigned to them. That's not what I mean. These are people who have maybe karma that they need to resolve, and so they've done enough work before being able to be assigned to you in the spirit realm. Or these could be spirits, beings, people who were alive as humans previously that have a very similar mission to you on the other side. So there's more than one reason, and I'm definitely not touching on that as deep as I could be, but just to give you guys an idea that the passed on protection that is around us, those who have transitioned, people who were once alive on the earth as humans who have passed away, might not always be our family members, people attached to our generational lineage that are protecting us. Majority of the time it is though. So that's number one. So it could be people that have passed away on the earth, family members or not. But again, majority of the time it is people in your lineage. And you have to keep in mind that people in your family also who have transitioned, they are also maybe not always going to be assigned to you 100% of the time. It's not like they're around us 24 hours of the day. Like, they have other missions to do beyond the veil. There's other things that they must do, we say, before Judgment Day, before that time comes where every soul is sort of assessed collectively. So that is sort of a little bit of an in-depth explanation on that there. But our spirit team can also consist of beings, celestial beings that are maybe not of humanoid, or we're not humans on Earth. So it could be extraterrestrials, for example. They could be humanoid, meaning they look like human beings in a way, which would consist of the Syrians, Pleiadians specifically, maybe Arcturians, but more often than not, it's extraterrestrials that could be assigned to certain people as guides, and of course, angelic beings. Angelic beings are the ones that are always going to be. There's always going to be an angelic being, an angel, that is assigned to every single living thing. So animals, plants, humans, okay? That's just always going to happen. Everyone always has an angel. Now, whether everyone always has a passed on loved one, or everyone always has a spirit guide, a protector on the other side who's helping them on their journey on Earth as an extraterrestrial, really depends on the individual person and their mission. Because a lot of people on Earth have had soul history, because school is Earth is a school, right? So they've had their experience in other planetary spots in the galaxy, okay? Could be other galaxies, but I won't touch into that because I'm not quite sure about that, to be quite frank. I'm getting yes from my guys, but I'm hearing yes, but I don't think you need to focus on that too much. I don't think you need to focus on like what planet was I at before for me to have this guide, unless that's part of your mission, meaning that there are specific people who are, awakening now, ascending, meaning they're evolving even more. They've reached the point of their initial spiritual awakening or secondary awakening in their journey. Now they're actually ascending their soul, which means they're officially tapping into their mission, their purpose, a primary purpose for them on this earth, because we have many purposes. And some of those people end up discovering that they are channelers for extraterrestrial beings. They consider themselves light workers. They are able to communicate with light language. So those people that are part of the, they consider, even, you can use the label star seeds if you want. They are all collectively people who have guides on the other side that are extraterrestrials. And that's just the nature of what they're doing here on the earth and kind of the mission that they've signed up for. So, but I do want to emphasize the preface that we are all having spirit guides around us, and whether we are consciously aware of it or not, they exist, right? They exist, they are around us, and they're here to assist us on our journey. Even the asleep, unawakened people that are here don't have they have guides, they have spirit guides, but they don't have an idea of that maybe yet, but they have a spirit team around them that's still protecting them. This has to be the case. This is just how God, divine source creator, created creation, to have assistance, not only in the 3D but also on the other side. We're not left for dead here, right? And even with people that are in other places around the world where they're on different timelines, they're in places of war, or they're in places of severe abuse, which is something that many of us might not be able to particularly understand, maybe in regards to the souls that are living in places with war right now, for example. They still also have guides around them, helping them. So it might not seem like the case because of the situation that they're in, and one might think, well, that doesn't make any logical sense. Like, people that are in countries of war, how do they have spirit guides then? Why aren't the spirit guides helping them get out of the war? And that those are a little bit tougher missions to consider, because there's also other factors involved with why that soul is in that life experience. There, and this is where it gets touchy with the subject of karma, but also what people have signed up for to experience, but also sort of the collective of souls who have almost signed up for this kind of challenge in life, because those are the people that are guaranteed a certain spot elsewhere in astral because of their signing up to help awaken the rest of the world to the harm of war, for example. And that can be a very, again, difficult thing to understand. We always wonder, like, why does hardship happen? And I can only provide the explanation with regards to why hardship occurs in our life here. And and not so much to say that I understand people who are in places of war, severe abuse, or trafficking, or things like that. I think those people are, the ones who have escaped those journeys are the ones who can share their story a little bit more better than I can, who is a soul who's maybe more in a place of greater 3D privilege, I would say. It doesn't mean that people who are in greater 3D privilege, who are not in places of war, for example, are not experiencing hardship, but it's just a different level of experience. And it's very hard to explain that because a lot of people want to attach 3D connection to it without understanding that a lot of it is things that we actually sign up to experience. Now, we don't sign up to experience war, but we sign up to experience certain lessons and certain hardships. And we don't know what the experience is going to be, but we sign up to learn a lesson through that hardship, if that makes sense. So we are never given anything more than we can bear. This is just obviously science anyway, like scientifically, physically, emotionally, energetically. Every human being cannot be given more than what they can bear. It might seem like otherwise, and then you wonder, like, where are my spirit guides through all of this? Where's my team? But they're always around, and we're really never given, like, it's impossible. It's literally impossible to attract a situation that your soul is not ready to experience. Like, science proves that. Okay, it is proven down to the nano geometric level, and so we have to remember that. And so I think the people that are in more challenging places, there's a little bit more depth to what they've signed up for in terms of their lessons, but also what they are experiencing maybe from previous lives, rectifying from previous experiences, because we have to remember that in every religious text, polytheistic and monotheistic, there is mention of being brought in, extracted, and being brought back. And a lot of people, I think, take things so literally, but there's so much proof of this. And I think that I would encourage anyone, if you question, like, where are my guides throughout this hardship, to just remember that scientifically, if you want to be logical about it, it's literally impossible to attract an experience that you're not ready to experience. Like, it cannot happen, right? Because your soul, everything is energy. Your soul is attracting that experience. So your spirit team is there, and sometimes they can't always be there codependently to help assist you. If a codependency, for example, is a lesson that you need to learn, they are always there available and protecting you. But we have to, at some point, at some level of this journey, experience some difficulty and challenge, because that's an emotional challenge. Even at that, I think is one of the hardest, physical and emotional challenge, to be able to move through and almost transcend the trauma, the wounding, the pain, the victim mentality within us. Okay, so I just have to touch that base really quickly. So jumping into communicating with your guide. So we have the passed on loved ones, we have people in our family, but also people who are not. We also have celestial beings, extraterrestrials, we have angelic beings of unconditional love and light, 5D and above. And, it's important to mention, because there's two sides to every coin. There is also a darker being that could be around any of us at any point in time to try to influence us, which is why it's so important to make it a habit to clear your energy. Your guides can't just do that for you. Like, you have to take responsibility and accountability in this journey, which is a huge lesson for each and every one of us. We all need to take accountability on this journey to be able to, heal ourselves, and also, shoo away, command away the negative forces, the negative energy that exist. Communicating with your guides really starts with being open and receptive to receiving communication from them. Might do a part 2 on this, guys, because I have a minute left. So please stay tuned for the part 2. I'll post part 1 now this week, and I want to hear your thoughts, and then let me know for part 2 next week on what's coming through for you. But essentially, you have to be open to receiving communication with them. You might not always know their names. They reveal who they are if they need to when the time comes. But the first important step is to be open to receiving the guidance from the other side, and recognizing that there's still a spiritual war that is going on, and forces that aim to harm humanity. But it doesn't have to be that way, because if you're open to receiving their guidance, as well as God's divine source creators, who they are serving as well at the highest order, you will be able to see their presence in synchronicities, in messages, in God's presence essentially in your everyday life. Follow along for part 2, like and share.